Hey everyone, it's Coach Kai. Welcome back. After a week in Endgame, I've been finalizing my Kinetic Rain Elementalist, and today I'm showing you the final form. This version is juiced for high pack density, using Delirium and Beyond and other modifiers, and it's blasting through T16, 16.5s, and even T17s like it's nothing. In this video, I'll cover auras, graph synergies, jewels, gear, CI plans, and what's left to push it even further. Let's get into it. Short recap. This started as a campaign to Map's Kinetic Rain build. Over the past week in endgame, we've tightened defenses, packed in auras, using the Enlightened support gem, leveraged graphs like Wreathed in Light and Overcharged Sinews, added a new jewel socket, the Primordial Eminence, to the tree, and optimized gear towards big energy shield rolls so that I can eventually switch to CI. I'll show how all of that stacks up while mapping juice content. For our auras and reservations, we're running Arctic Armor, Tempest Shield, Wrath, and Precision, connected through an Enlightened support gem so we can reserve what we need and still keep our mana options open. This aura stack gives us defenses like freeze and shock immunity via Tempest Shield and Arctic Armor, and big damage boosts through Wrath and Precision. For rare packs or bosses, I also use Sigil of Power combined with Wreath and Light to plant on ground strong buffs. Very important when these maps are juiced. Now let's talk about our graphs and why I chose them and the synergies that they have together. Our graph pair is a huge reason this build feels as powerful as it does. Wreath and Light does deal damage when you command it, but that's not why we've chosen it. It adds a bunch of added flat lightning damage to our hits and causes our damage to be lucky, which, if you know anything about lightning damage, that is an extremely important mod because of how wide the lightning damage roll range is. Overcharged Sinews allows us to gain a stack of Jolt upon critically striking an enemy, where each stack gives us increased damage taken, but also grants us 2% more maximum attack damage, and you can have a maximum of 10 Jolt stacks. So that right there is 20% more maximum attack damage on full stacks. When combined with some of the mods available on the Jolting Esh graph itself, you can increase your crit strike chance by a lot, as well as your crit strike multiplier for each jolt being up to 40% increased at full stacks. Right now, between my weapon, my passive tree, and these graphs, I'm sitting at about 600% crit multi and around 95% crit chance, which is insane for boss and pack damage in all these juiced maps. Now for the passive tree. I'll have a link for the POB posted in the description below, but I've rearranged passives to emphasize crit multi and efficient pathing. I've also added the new jewel, Primordial Eminence, which gives us increased golem buff effects, similar to those we saw before the nerf at the beginning of this league. I did all this by dropping a few accuracy nodes on the tree. Dropping those accuracy nodes won't affect your ability to hit. I'm still sitting at 100% chance to hit and 99% chance to hit evasive enemies. Now let's talk about gear. We still run evasion energy shield hybrid pieces, but I'm prioritizing high energy shield rolls that scale well with our int, so we get more energy shield, more evasion off of it, and more mana, which increases our damage. Weapon choice also matters for damage. Kinetic Rain is an attack skill, so wand flat damage and attack modifiers help to move the needle forward. Flat lightning mods or flat cold mods are the primary ones I look for, but I don't mind getting a flat fire mod as well. This is especially important for your ring slots. Eventually, since we're switching to CI, you don't necessarily need health, which frees up a prefix slot on your rings. But increase to maximum energy shield is a nice prefix to have on your rings as well. Now, let's talk about the only dangerous thing I've seen for this build, and that's Corrupted Blood. The biggest remaining threat has been Corrupted Blood. Right now, you can carry a Life Flask with Corrupted Blood immunity, but I plan to replace that with my second jewel slot, having a Corrupted Jewel that grants cannot be affected by Corrupted Blood. Once I do that, I can replace my Life Flask with something like Dying Sun, or maybe Roomies to give us extra block chance. That change would provide survivability towards near immortality for this Wander. Now, let's talk about the roadmap for the future and how I plan to min-max this build. I'm currently level 97. At level 98, I have the ability to switch into CI. I don't plan to do that until I've reached about 7,000 energy shield. The final step would be creating a cluster jewel setup. I've never made a cluster jewel setup before. This is where I need your help. If you've got any ideas or have had any experience creating cluster jewel setups, leave them in the comments below. I appreciate any help y'all give. That's the final form Kinetic Rain Elementalist. It's tanky, melts packs and juiced maps as well as through breaches, and the CI transition is the last milestone. If you want the POB or passive tree, it's in the description. Like and subscribe if you want a full CI follow-up and Cluster Jewel deep dive. I read all your comments. Drop cluster ideas and your favorite graph combos below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on stream. Class dismissed.